Today, we will be discussing remote work and telecommunicating. Specifically, our target audience will be focusing on C executives that travel frequently. What is remote working? Remote work is a working style that allows professionals to work outside of a traditional office environment. It's based on the concept that work does not need to be done in a specific place to be executed successfully. Remote work is an opportunity for companies to change their way of working sustainably and reap the benefits over the medium to long term. Remote working on a larger scale also offers companies the flexibility to deal with unexpected events in the future, such as COVID-19 crisis. Remote working can give a renewed boost to cooperation and cohesion. What is the value of remote working? The value of remote working includes, but is not limited to, less commuting, fewer business trips, shorter breaks, greater focus, and less likely to take short absences due to illness. How to succeed as a remote worker. Experiment with your work setup, create work-home boundaries, prepare for your meetings, create accountability for yourself, be visible at work, communicate clearly and effectively, work on your health, set clear responsibilities, talk with your team, and take time to socialize. Why is it so important and what do you need to know? It's pretty straightforward why telecommuting is important at this time. We are in the middle of a pandemic, social distancing is being practiced, but employees are still able to perform without worrying about spreading the virus or getting infected through remote work. Telecommuting is becoming more and more common, and it is so effective that this could continue even after the pandemic. Remote work is on the rise. The number of hours spent working off-site is increasing, as is the number of workers. More and more industries are adopting remote work policies as well. Finance, insurance, and real estate industries experience the greatest surge in remote work. Considering the values and benefits of remote work, it is expected that telecommuting will be the new normal. What is new? A growing set of companies, including Amazon, Capital One, Google, Microsoft, Salesforce, and Siemens, have extended their remote work plans, at least to part-time, into 2021. On July 29, 2020, online real estate marketplace Zillow also joined that list. 90% of the workforce will have the flexibility to work from home permanently as an ongoing option. That's a huge change from where the company stood on the issue of remote work before the pandemic. What do reputable newspapers and magazines say? Major media in the U.S. shows optimistic effects of remote working on productivity and the economy. The New York Times states, "Miserable as it can often be, remote work is surprisingly productive, leading many employers to wonder if they'll ever go back to the office." Bloomberg says, "The potential for remote work to spread economic opportunity throughout the country," and they also say, "Opportunity has been clustered in a handful of places in this country." What does science say about remote working? It says that when we are under a lot of stress, our brains are less productive and have less capacity to think creatively. When there is a real threat, our body goes into fight or flight mode. Quite quickly, our limbic system turns on, which is the emotional part of our brain, and it gets us ready to fight, flight, or freeze, which causes us a struggle in focusing. Working at home helps employees feel safe, and it helps them deal with stress that leads to productivity. What changes should we expect to see? With the rising number of employees telecommuting, expect to see changes in the stressful stages of working from home, the never-ending office meetings, the alarming science of stress, the breakdown of emotional barriers, virtual onboarding and the rise in teleworking, and then leadership and empathy from afar. Much of the research indicates that remote workers are more productive than on-site workers. Between the higher engagement and increased productivity of remote work, off-site workers offer leaders the greatest gains in business outcomes, and those outcomes are significant. So how can you get ready for these changes and maintain work productivity? Designate a workspace and comfortable work environment. Maintain a routine, establish a clear communication structure, define roles, set goals, track productivity, and change the company culture for the better. Our research was based on the following references. The first work cited shows why remote work will continue even after the pandemic, and it explains the benefits. The second article is about how remote work has affected our lives and the solutions for how to deal with it. The third article is about the proven benefits of remote work. And then the remaining articles show general opinions of the major newspaper media, New York Times and Bloomberg.